Today we will discuss the 5 things that must be present in a complete sentence. We'll call them the 5 requirements for a sentence. You will need to include all 5 requirements in every sentence you write. At the beginning of every sentence is a capital letter. A capital letter is a signal to the reader that a new sentence is beginning. We use signals when we cannot use our voices to communicate something important. When you write, you signal to the reader with a capital letter that a new thought is beginning. We will use this symbol to help us remember to use a capital letter at the beginning of every sentence. If we always signal the beginning of a sentence with a capital letter, how do we signal the end of a sentence? You guessed it, most sentences end with a period. We call periods end punctuation because periods are punctuation marks that come at the end of the sentence. We also use question marks and exclamation points to signal the end of a sentence. End punctuation signals to the reader that a new thought has ended. It tells the reader to stop or pause and take a moment to think about that thought before going on to the next sentence. We will use this symbol to help us remember to use end punctuation at the end of a sentence. The next requirement of a complete sentence is a subject. The subject of a sentence is the person, place, thing, quality, or idea that the sentence is about. Words like boy, girl, Pam, he, she, and I would fall under the person subject category. Words such as store, house, farm, forest, street, and gym are subjects that are places. Ball, hat, tree, window are examples of subjects that are considered things. Qualities and ideas are also considered subjects. Examples of qualities include silence, solitude, happiness, and sorrow. Words like peace, partnership, marriage, politics, and psychology are examples of ideas. All of these words are called nouns. Nouns are seen in many places in a sentence. When a noun is the word that whole sentence is about, it is called the subject of the sentence. We will use this symbol to help us remember to always include a subject in each sentence. In addition, verbs are a requirement of a complete sentence. There are 2 types of verbs. The type we talk about today is an action verb. An action verb is a word that shows the action of the subject of the sentence. The action can be something a person does with his body or something a person does with his mind. Actions a person can do with his or her body are eat, walk, run, or jump. Actions a person can do with his mind are think, want, or like. To help us remember to always include a verb in each sentence, we will use this symbol. The final requirement of a complete sentence is that the subject and the verb work together to make sense. For example, the sentence, "The boy jumped," has a subject and a verb. Boy is the subject. It is what the sentence is about. Jumped is the verb. Jumping is an action. They make sense because we know that boys can jump. To be a complete sentence must have at least one subject and one verb, and they have to work together to make sense. Let's look at another sentence. The book smiled. Do you think this sentence makes sense? No, it doesn't. In real life, books can't smile. This sentence doesn't make sense. Remember, each time you write a sentence, make sure it makes sense. To help us remember the last requirement that the subject and verb must work together to make sense, we will use this symbol to show the 2 words working together. Now that we have discussed all 5 requirements, let's review them together. A complete sentence must start with a capital letter, have end punctuation, have a subject, have a verb, and make sense. That concludes today's lesson.
Created using Powtoon.